I've begun to wonder recently, why is it that the butterflies in our stomach that feel whimsical and exciting sometimes can also feel like a punch in the gut and ominous when we're in panic mode? Moreover, why does liking somebody send us into fight or flight? And why do we like it? Well, it turns out that it's a masochistic domino effect in our brain that has 3 stages. The first of which, and most widely sought after, lust. During this stage, our bodies release estrogen and testosterone, increasing our desires intensely. Without lust, our species would not have survived, because we wouldn't have been motivated to go out and seek mating partners. The second stage is attraction. This is the stage you'll feel the butterflies in, because just like in a moment of panic, your body will release norepinephrine. And even though you might not be familiar with that by name, you'll definitely know the effects when you feel them.
His palms are sweaty, these weak arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti, he's nervous.
Which could explain why, when I'm at the dentist and they inject me with epinephrine, my legs end up vibrating faster than subatomic particles. Your pupils will dilate and the blood will rush from your core to the muscles where it believes needs oxygen the most. All that blood rushing away from your core, that's what gives you the feeling of butterflies. But if it happens while we're in panic mode and while we're attracted to somebody, how is it that we've learned to differentiate when it's the same feeling? Because attraction is a gateway drug and ends up doping your brain. Literally, dopamine will flood your mind. Now, this little guy is dangerous because if you like a food, you're going to go out of your way to go get that food. And if experiences are food, then dopamine is a seasoning that leaves you craving more. Sadly, there's a lot of people who have learned to associate the flood of dopamine and norepinephrine with the feeling of love. So, inevitably, when it goes away, because over an extended period of time that's really bad for your brain, they tend to think that the love is gone and move on to the next partner. Hell, you might even still be getting the same amount of dopamine from them, but the way that your brain works, it's going to start clearing it away faster and faster because it's not supposed to have that level of dopamine going on. Your brain works very hard to keep the excitement at manageable levels. This is how people build a tolerance. You might have just built a tolerance to your partner. Don't blame them. Love is a drug. You're taking too much. What's even worse is if you end up losing your partner who was regularly giving you dopamine, you're left wanting to fill that void, and most people choose to fill that void through self-destructive, dopamine-inducing activities such as drinking or promiscuity. And the dopamine and norepinephrine are not the only changes that happen in the attraction stage. There's also a lowering of the serotonin levels. Now, this is where I'm beginning to think that our brains actually secretly hate us, because lowering of serotonin levels have been linked to things like obsessive-compulsive disorder, sleep problems, and a million other things that could cause us to behave completely irrationally about somebody that we've just discovered we're attracted to. Now, in the third stage, attachment, those feelings sort of finally even out. You're no longer sleeping together 7 times a day. Everything starts to become comfortable and familiar. And I've noticed a lot of people begin wondering at this stage why their partner is no longer as passionate as they were at the beginning. Sometimes even ending the relationship over it and beginning a cycle of being addicted to falling in love. But just because the initial flood of dopamine is not making you feel the same high you used to does not mean there's nothing going on. Your body is releasing vasopressin and oxytocin here, giving you the feelings of contentedness. And eventually parental bonding as well, which also came in really handy for our species since humans take forever to reach adulthood.